Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think my grandpa kicked you out of kindergarten. Is that right, Pastor Tate?
You know what? I don't remember it that way.
Okay.
I'll take.
Okay.
It was your grandma.
Okay. Oh, it was my grandma.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's right. Hey, Castleview, thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the Castleview Baptist Church podcast. And today we've got two very special people. You've not met them yet. We've got our summer interns. And one of the things we enjoy every single summer is we have interns come in. And this is our desire. We don't want to just work them, although I think they're going to let you know in a minute they definitely work. But we also want to pour into them and help them. And so the reason for this is because we want you as a church family to know them, to get to love them, spend time with them, and really care for them. They're only here for 8 weeks. And so I wanted to make sure we introduce them well to you. And so guys, thanks for being here today. Let me introduce both of you for just a moment. This is Brett Schoen.
Yes, sir.
And Brett's with us today, and this is Noah Helliker. Yep. And I'd love to hear this. Okay, let's start here today. If you're looking at Brett right now on the camera, all right? So anyone at home watching right now, take a look at Brett. Brett looks just like a Bible character to me. Like if we did a film right now, Brett, we would. And if it was based on Bible times, I think you would be our lead. I think you could be Solomon, Boaz, David.
Those are some heavy hitters, though.
Those are heavy hitters. Peter, Noah, don't you think? Do you see it in him?
He'd rock it. I think he'd do great. He'd do great.
He'd rock it. That's the first time on this podcast anyone has said he'd rock it.
He'd rock it.
He'd rock it. He would. And we talked a few minutes ago. You guys have seen you've seen these AI videos now, right? That Bible character. I think one of them has David, and he's Goliath is behind him. And he says, I'm about to yeet this stone at Goliath, and I think once Daniel's in it, you could totally do that.
Well, I will be honest, people have reached out trying to cast me for different roles. That's not true. But I'm going to take it as a compliment. That's what I'm going to choose to do.
So far in our summer, I've come up with a different Bible name for you every day.
That's true.
Yesterday was Elijah, because you sent me a picture of you running, 1 Kings 18:46. when he took, I don't know if you put that together or not.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Well, you didn't laugh at you didn't even respond to my comment.
I should have. We were at a sore place there, with me missing meeting and everything like that. So
well, that would have been better for you to respond to my comment than not to respond. Because I've noticed so far, Noah, you're a lot better at responding so far to comments.
Yeah, I want to keep that trust between us, And
yes.
I think the people should know Brett was a little late to men's Bible study.
You know what? I
day.
wasn't going to say anything, but
I had to bring it up.
Now that it's come up.
Well,
No. He wasn't a little. Did you say he was a
little?
Oh,
he wasn't
late?
even late. He just wasn't there.
He wasn't there. No, he wasn't late. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
That's right. And we've got some big goals for the summer. We'll talk about that. You guys have some goals. Yeah. And yesterday I sent both of the interns kind of how we're doing on our goals. Check. And then I sent one that said, showed up to men's Bible study, men's group. And I had a check, and Noah had a check. And Elijah was your name yesterday.
That was my name yesterday.
That was your name. And you weren't there. What happened, Brett? Now that everyone knows, I wasn't going to bring it up. But
we're getting onto this in the podcast. Okay,
yeah, let's talk about it.
To be vulnerable with this church and with everyone, I do struggle with alarms. It has always been something that has really gotten me. So I set my alarm for about 5:40 so I could get up for our 6:30 a.m. Bible study.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I hear Noah barging in the room. He says, Brett, are you ready to go? I said, yeah, I'll get ready. And I look at my phone, and it's already 6:20.
Really?
Wow. That one did not pan out. And of course, we had dinner plans that night, so I couldn't go to the evening.
I kind of blame your intern a little bit too, right? I mean, your accountability partner.
I would agree with you.
Show up at 6:20. What's the good of that?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, at this point, you're just making fun of you that you're not up.
Yeah,
it's more of a patronizing than anything.
It was.
I thought you just have I thought you'd just be able to get up by yourself. I don't know.
Did you? Yeah. How old are you, Brett? 21?
I would love to change topics.
At 21, Noah, because you're 18.
I'm 18.
Yeah. And when your alarm went off, no problem.
I was up 45 minutes before that.
Have you ever seen those alarm clocks that it's above you and there's a hand on it and it slaps you? All of a sudden the alarm goes off, starts slapping you or throwing water on you. Maybe we need to find something like that for you.
Believe it or not, my dad actually bought me an alarm clock my freshman year of college that you put in your pillow And when it goes off, the entire bed vibrates trying to get you up. I don't use it because it makes me feel foolish.
Well,
but-
you obviously don't use it.
It didn't help.
You'd have to tell us that.
Right.
So are you, interesting. Okay. Are you the kind of person that have you ever had a dream while your alarm's going off? Like you're dreaming, you're not even awake. You're dreaming, you get up and you're walking around and then you wake up and you realize, oh, it's actually happening right now. The alarm's going off. Are you that kind of guy?
I'll hear the alarm and I'll have a dream that there's like a fire alarm in the building or something.
Is that right? Are you guys sleepwalkers, by the way?
No. I sleep talk. Don't
You sleep talk.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've done in your sleep talk?
I think I didn't really say anything, but I was at home and my brother said like middle of the night, like 2 a.m. He's still up playing video games or something, and I just like let the loudest scream out of all, like murder scream. And he said my mom got up and thought I was dying or something. I was like, no, it's just a good dream. I guess I don't know what's happening.
Don't know what was happening. Yeah.
So,
I'm a sleep talker, sleepwalker as well, so we can do some crazy things at night for sure. All right, let's get serious for a minute. Really super excited to have both of you here this summer. I know both of you. Noah, I know you better. We've known each other. Well, I say that. I grew up with your mom. Matter of fact, your grandfather was at our church, and your grandma, Bob and Diane Anger. Your mom was good friends of ours. By the way, your mom was always, you're an athlete. Your mom was always incredibly athletic.
I don't like to play her one-on-one.
I wouldn't. I didn't either. She was tough. She was very competitive.
She may be short, but she's good.
She may be short, but she's fierce.
She is
when she plays stuff for sure. And so we grew up together, and obviously we moved. I moved away when I was 18, but over the years we'd go back and see her family and that kind of thing. And then about a year ago at our Faith and Family our Family and Friends service, you came out to it. We got to spend a little bit more time together at that point. What's your first memory of me? Would that be your first memory?
I want to say my first memory was actually when you did my grandpa's funeral. I know that's because that was like when I was like a middle schooler, so.
That's right.
Yeah,
okay.
and then you came over to the house after, and we played that spoons game where you smack the head with the spoon. So I do remember that. That's a core memory.
That's a core memory.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Whenever I think about Pastor Tate, I think about the spoon game. So,
So what? I'm trying to remember. I think I know what we did. You'd put the spoon in your mouth. And someone's sitting in front of you, and you hit them. So the spoon doesn't hit you very hard.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
But we would, and then you're doing it against somebody.
Yeah.
You have a chance, they have a chance. We'd have somebody stand behind, so there's a stooge, right? Was it you with a stooge?
Yeah, so when they put their head down, you just smack it.
I would, you didn't know I was back there with the spoon, but I smacked you on. Okay. I do remember that. Yeah. You say that. That's a core memory.
Yeah, it's a core memory.
Yeah, good. I've not matured much since then either.
I also, can I bring up maybe a little topic you don't want to talk about?
No, you can't.
Kindergarten.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I
Hold
heard...
on a minute before you tell the story, Noah. Noah woke up this morning and chose violence.
I don't know about
He
violence.
came right after you, Brett, and now he's coming right after me.
I like to think it's a protection. He wants to protect himself, so he attacks others.
It's an insecurity.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
there's something there. There's something there.
This is free game, man.
Okay, tell us your story.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think my grandpa kicked you out of kindergarten. Is that right, Pastor Tate?
You know what? I don't remember it that way.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It was your grandma.
Okay. Oh, it was my grandma. That makes sense.
That's right. I was, in my defense, I did fail kindergarten. I was a little bit young. And they knew, my mom and dad were in ministry, and so they were putting me a little bit ahead, right? So I really had no business being with these older kindergartners. They put me in there, and I think it probably only lasted 2 or 3 weeks. And my mom and your grandma are best friends.
Yeah.
And your grandma went to my mom and said, this ain't working. And so I had to, I'm the only person I know that had to repeat kindergarten.
Wow.
And so the subject matter was pretty heavy.
You probably did a good job repeating it. You probably did a good job.
Second time I crushed it.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I crushed it. I was a real leader in that kindergarten class. Good. A little bit older than everybody else at that point.
That's awesome.
So thanks for bringing that up, Noah.
Gotcha.
I'll have to think of a few things for you as well.
Oh, no.
Brett, tell me about this. How'd you find out, first of all, about... I'm trying to remember how we got connected for you to come out for an internship. How did we get connected? How did we connect?
Well, it's actually a really interesting story. So I like to spend my summers at college doing different ministries. I got to serve at a camp, and then I interned at another church in Las Vegas last summer. But this year, I could not find peace on any kind of opportunity. You know, there were some people that reached out. I reached out to other people, but there really just wasn't that peace that passes understanding when it came to an opportunity. And Christmas break rolled around, and I was starting to get to the place where I was like kind of worried. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right about that time, you came to the school and preached a message on abortion, and that it was great. Like the way that you explained it, the way that you brought statistics into it, and just kind of opened our eyes to the topic a little bit. I was encouraged. So I sat next to one of your former church members, Sammy Self. He was actually right next to me in ministerial seminar.
Yeah.
And he mentioned how you guys did an internship program.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Sammy, I actually have the text message. I sent it to Pastor Christian yesterday.
Yeah.
But I texted him and said, hypothetically, Sammy,
Yeah.
how would it be easiest to reach out to your pastor? And he
Yeah.
sent me y'all's email, and I sent an email that day.
Is that right?
That's
so
right.
it was. I have Sammy to thank.
You do.
For that.
I
Okay.
have Sammy to
You have.
You're
Yeah,
not
we'll see how it
thinking
goes.
anything, yeah.
We'll see how it goes, whether we're thanking him or not. Sammy's a great guy.
Yes,
we
he
love him. Of course, the family. Of course, he's at college now. The family's just moved away not long ago. But I don't think I realized there was that was the connection to it with Sammy sitting by us. So shout out to Sammy Self. Thank
Absolutely.
you for the help there. Okay, Noah, yours. When did you start thinking about an internship? How did yours come up?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to get into the ministry probably because I just graduated high school, obviously. So beginning of senior year, I was kind of just confused in my major and all this. But going into winter break, I changed colleges, and I was like, man, I think if God really wants me to get into the ministry, I think an internship would be great.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people do an internship right out of high school.
Yes.
So I was just very thankful for you guys. And so I reached out to you, and I was like, hey, you talked about your internship program. I know I'm 18, but I'd love to give it a shot. And just you guys opened that door for me.
Let's dig down on that a little
Yeah.
bit, because you had different plans. I mean,
Yeah.
you weren't planning on going into ministry until recently.
Yeah.
What were your plans, and how did those plans change?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, just obviously going into senior year, you kind of just want to get everything figured out. So I had a baseball scholarship to this school in Maine, Thomas College, and I was just so excited. Me and my buddy from Utah were going to go out there, just play ball, and I was just going to get like a basic business degree, you know, the classic athlete degree.
Yeah.
And so it was just I didn't really know what I wanted in my life. And then going into winter break, I was like talking to my mom, and I was like, I just don't feel I don't feel like God wants me here. I think something needs to change. So just praying over and over again. And then my cousin goes to GCU. You obviously know GCU a little bit. And just the way God opened doors with like finances and then majors, how they got a lot of pastoral careers there. And just it's just amazing how God opened a door, and like I changed my mind right away.
So you made a decision because you were going to go play baseball.
Yes.
And you are quite a good athlete. And you know what I'm about to share with our podcast listeners. Noah.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Noah's hit a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
Brett, have you ever hit a hole-in-one?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, I've never hit a hole-in-one. Matter of fact, I don't know that I've ever scared the hole that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so you're quite an athlete. I've kind of watched you on Facebook, and your mom will share things or whatever, your journey. So your plan was to let's go play baseball, enjoy college, get into business, and just kind of go. How did the Lord get a hold of your heart? Was there a turning point? Was there an influence? Was there someone at your church? Was it a message? What was it?
So actually my basketball coach, his name's Kevin. He's a great guy. He came into the program a couple years ago and just wanted to disciple us on top of basketball. Like basketball's just a game, and it's like more than just a game. It's a lesson in life about just your faith in general. So I think that was a big impact. And like doing coffee meetings with him, he was like, well, you have a heart for God and you obviously want to do something. Let's explore a little more. So he helped me go online, search up some Christian schools around the area. And I think that was actually a big help for me, just like figuring out where I do want to go, what school fits me best. Yeah. So I want to thank him a lot for that. And then also just, I don't know, just the way that it's so weird, just the way God opened the door. Like I was paying so much money for this school in Maine, and then the way God opened GCU, how it's just so much affordable, and just so many doors open, and it's just unbelievable how it happened.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you surrendered that way.
Yeah.
You are the youngest we've never had a graduate from high school going into college as an intern. And I think we did that for a couple reasons. Number one, we've got a relationship with your family. Yeah. You carry yourself very well. You know, you've got a maturity about you that's older than 18. When I see you with people, I feel like, you know, when I was 18, I don't know that I could do what you're doing right now. And so I think you're really Doing a good job, Noah. So thank you for surrendering that way. We're excited to have you here this summer.
Thank you.
Brett, was there somebody in your life that helped you? What was your journey like? And by the way, let me. I'm going to come right back to you, Brett. What do you want to do? Do you know what, as far as ministry, what you want to do? What this looks like?
Yeah. So right now my degree is pastoral ministry. I don't know what emphasis that is,
Where
but
that heads, sure.
I got a heart for kids ministry, so I might go
sure.
down that road, but just
Sure.
wherever the Lord
Love
takes
it.
me.
Okay,
So.
okay, not quite solidified. Okay,
Yeah.
So 2-part question. Was there an influence, and what is it that you feel like God wants you to do if you know yet?
Well, you probably know as good as anyone. A question like that could take all day to give a story, you know.
Sure.
But obviously, I'll sum that down. My dad was a pastor. When I turned 14, we moved, and we took a brief stint out of the ministry, about 2 years. And through that time, I really built up a lot of bitterness towards God. There was just a lot of circumstances that played into that. And honestly, I wanted nothing to do with the church anymore. And the people that had the biggest influence on me were the people that, for whatever reason, just did not give up.
Yeah.
My youth pastor, my basketball coach at the time, these guys that, and obviously my parents, they just continued to pour in and to pray. And even though I was at a place where I feel like would have been too far gone for a potential return, they just continued to invest and continued to pray. And they saw something that could have come out of a broken life. So that completely changed my mindset. I gave my life back to the Lord my senior year of high school, and committed to ministry. As for what I want to do now, I've shared this with you before. I don't have an exact destination or an exact title that I want after graduation. I just know that I want to be doing something for the Lord. So I'm not sure exactly what that looks like yet.
What's your major?
Pastoral ministries.
Pastoral ministries. Okay, so both kind of in the same place as far as Lord, wherever you want me to go.
Right.
I'm willing. Just open up the right doors for us. Was there anything, Brett, that caused you, do you think, to kind of turn away from the Lord in high school? Was it just? Yeah, tell us.
I do.
About that.
Without divulging too much information, I certainly don't want to talk on anything I shouldn't. But
Sure.
There were some situations within our previous ministry where my dad was the pastor of a church that really built up some resentment towards what I viewed as a fake face of Christianity.
Sure.
And as a young person, when you get that in your heart and in your mind, and you see people that you love getting hurt by Christians, it can be hard to desire that life.
Yes.
So I continued freshman, sophomore, and even a little bit of junior year of high school with just this. Honestly, I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But I thank God every day for the faithfulness of those people.
I have a really, you said core memory a few minutes ago. I've got a core memory of my dad. He pastored. And I think in high school, I ran away from the call to ministry. I knew God was calling me into ministry, but I was running away from it because of a couple of core memories I had. One of them was I remember seeing him walk down the hallway with an armload of his valuables. I mean, he had a rifle, he had some things in his arms. He was going to sell them, the pawn shop, just because things were so tight financially.
Right.
I remember leaving football practice and seeing right there at Hill Air Force Base, you know where that's at, seeing some moms with my mom. And they were handing her groceries and giving us groceries and that kind of thing. And that was. I look back now and I think that was a really cool thing in some ways. But I didn't want to be that guy. That other people were. Well, we gotta help them. You know what I mean? I remember sometimes opening the door and there'd be a gallon of milk and some bread or whatever that was sitting there, and that was a blessing. But it wasn't the life that I wanted to live. And then the second part of it was I was so afraid of public speaking. I just thought I don't want to get in front of a people, a group, a microphone, and speak. And one day I was at Pensacola. You talk about business major. I was a business major, and I'm reading my Bible for devotions one morning as a freshman, and I came across Psalm 56:3. What time I'm afraid, I will trust in Thee. And it was like the Holy Spirit said, Tate, you're afraid of finances and you're afraid of the public speaking and knowing what to do and all of that. I've got this. Give it to me. Trust me. I've got you. And I picked up the phone immediately, called my mom and dad and said, I believe God does want me to go into ministry. And so I changed my major to youth ministries at that time.
Right.
And that's what we pursued. So I totally get kind of where you're coming with.
There's so much beauty in that. You mentioned that you look back and that really truly was an awesome thing. But at the time, you hated it. And I think as we look back at our stories, our life, we see so many things that in the moment seemed like the worst. When I was 14 entering high school, I did not want to move halfway across the country to a new state, a private school when I was used to public school. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
But now I'm here and I look back on that and I think, wow, if that wouldn't have happened, what in the world?
Yes.
So
I think that all the time. Like, Lord, what would I have missed out on
Exactly.
had I not surrendered to ministry? I mean, I told our kids when they were growing up, we're taking this trip because God's allowed us to be in ministry. We get to go see this thing because we're in ministry. Dad's home, more flexible schedule at times because we're in ministry. And all the things you get to experience is really super cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this. No, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
What would you like to see out of this internship, right? I mean, here you are 18 years old. You have been very active in your church and in your Christian school that you went to.
Yeah.
I think you were involved in some music things at school. I know you were a leader at your school. What are some things you're looking to get out of this internship?
Obviously, you mentioned leadership. I think that's a big thing just in your walk with God and people around you, and just seeing the way that the pastoral staff at Castleview just leads each other and leads the congregation. I love that. So I think just learning a little bit about how to lead people with a Christian heart, I think that's a great thing. I think that's one thing I'd love to get out of this, and just how to lead people and like show the love of Christ to people. I think it's easy to make it all about you and like I'm leading. I'm an internship I'm an intern this summer, so I want to be the center of the attention or whatever. But just showing the love of Christ through everything, and even like when there's nobody watching, just doing the little things and just it's all for Christ. So I think that's a couple big things I want to get out of.
Getting a heart to serve and lead this summer. I love it, and that's what leadership is. It's service, right? We talked last night at men's group. Men's group is something we do every week, Brett. You can check us out next week. But we talked last night. I don't know that we talked about this in the morning or not, but I know last night we talked about servant leadership, and the thing we talked about was we're all owners here, and if we're all owners at the church, from pastoral staff, life group leaders, interns, church member, volunteer, all the way down. If everyone's an owner, then there's no job that is below any of us, right? We're walking across the parking lot. There's a piece of trash there. We all pick it up. Nobody's above that. I'm not above that. There's not an intern above that. If there's toilets that have to be cleaned, there's something about when you're leading that you're serving. And that was Christ's example, right? I mean, he was the one. Peter's looking at him going, "No, you can't wash my feet. You're the Messiah," and his constant message was, "He that's going to be the greatest is the servant of all." A husband-wife relationship. He tells us in Ephesians chapter 5 that a husband leads by serving his wife and his family. So I think that's a great lesson to aspire to this year. So excellent. Brett, what would you like to get out of the internship this summer?
Well, there's a long list of those, but if I had to sum it down to just one or two things, I mean, the older you get in this profession, the more that you realize how little you know, how little you have figured out. And I've loved the opportunity to meet people and just see what they know, see what I can glean off of their life.
Yes.
Building those connections is absolutely priceless. So I'm here working for you this summer, but in a way I feel like you guys are almost feeding into me way more than I'm feeding into you guys, because I'm just getting this knowledge and this practical experience, and I'm getting to see your church's personality. Every church has a different personality.
That's right.
And it's cool to see, all these churches, they're serving the Lord, but they all do it in different ways, in their own unique methods. And I'm really looking forward to watching Castleview close up.
Let me encourage both of you. We have some really unique people in our church. And when I say that, I mean that. We've got some great leaders. We've got some great servants. We've got great volunteers, great church members. I believe that you can learn something from every person, right? Some of them might be great parents. And listen, this summer, pepper them with questions, that we've got some great leaders. Go to them and just ask them, "Hey, I've got this question, or I'm thinking about this." Write some questions down while you're thinking about it. We've got some people that are great with finance and money. ask them about it. You know, if you were starting out and you're 22, you're 18, what would you do? You know, how would you handle this? We've got some great people in the church. There's a lot of people I think you can glean from here this summer. Last question. We're how many days in now? Today's Friday that we're recording this. You got here Monday. So really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're 3 days in.
Right.
So we're 3 days into this. We're getting to know each other pretty well right now. 3 days in. How's your experience been so far? What is it like so far? What's what you thought? What's what you didn't think? What's anywhere you want to go with that?
My first?
Go ahead.
Well, I will say, up to this point, 3 days in, I haven't had any missed expectations. So you can, you don't have to worry about that. One thing that I've just noticed above all is that your staff is top of the line. Yeah. You truly do have a loving, intentional, genuine staff between Pastor Johnny, Pastor Christian, Whitney, yourself. You just have some people that really care about what they're doing. I've gotten to hear Pastor Christian speak probably more than any of you guys yet. And just hearing the way he speaks about his youth group and the way that he's burdened for them. I mean, your staff cares.
Great staff.
And I think that's what I'm looking forward to most about this summer is just getting closer with all of you three individually and just learning about what you do, why you do it. And that's been my greatest experience so far.
Yeah, good. All right, what about you?
Just seeing the way that your congregation is just so loving to each other. Like we went to Buffalo Wild Wings the other night, and just the way they made us feel at home. And it was day 2. It was crazy. And just the way that the Kleppers, opening their house and just making us feel like we belong there. It's just it's amazing. And I mean it's awesome to just feel like you have someone who you've known your whole life, it feels like, but it's 4 days in, so it's crazy.
Right.
So
Good,
it's awesome.
Good. I'm glad you guys feel that way. I think you're going to really, part of the reason for this podcast, we've only been doing this podcast for maybe 5 months. So we've not been able to do this with interns. I think this is going to give you guys a foot forward in our church, knowing even who you are as you first come in. And I would encourage you guys. We've lined up meals for you a couple times a week with different people. We've got you over tonight. We're kind of excited about that. We've got steaks marinating right now. And Noah makes sure his alarm goes off.
I'll make sure.
So he can make it too. But you will enjoy getting to know the people in our church this summer. And we're super honored that you're here. Thank you for making the time to be here, serving here. And I can say from our perspective, that you guys have fit right in already. And I think it's going to be a fantastic summer. So excited about it. Looking forward to being able to serve together. But what's the one thing on the schedule that you look forward to the most? There's a bunch of stuff coming up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, anything that you go, I can't wait for this event this summer.
Well,
or this
camp
thing.
will be awesome.
Camp will be
great,
awesome. That's next week. Yeah.
Intern getaway.
Matter of fact, when this airs, you're going to be at camp. You'll
really?
be there. Yeah, next Wednesday is when this is going to go up, and you'll be at camp
really
at that time. So you said intern getaway?
I think that'll be a blast. I don't know a ton of information about it yet. But I think
last thing we do in the summer, the church staff, we will take you backpacking somewhere. We invest during that time. We talk and that kind of thing. And so I'm looking forward to that too. That'll be good. What about you?
Mine's either the 3v3 or the men's get out. The men's camp
the guys'
out.
getaway's coming up. That's right. 3-on-3. That's coming up as well. A lot going on this summer that we get to be a part of. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Yep.
And church, let me tell you, these guys are great. Get to know them. Make sure that when you see them around the church or different activities this summer, make sure you say hello to them. Get to know them a little bit. Invest in them. If you get a chance to have lunch with them or take them out to a meal, then make sure you do that as well. But we're super blessed to have them here, and we're looking forward to being able to serve the Lord together with them over the next 7 weeks or so. Hey, thanks again for watching this episode of the Castleview Baptist Church Podcast. I hope it was a help and an encouragement to you, and we will see you next week.